Ladies and gentlemen, our show will begin in 60 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Kay Cretch, CEO of Dismas House.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us virtually today. On behalf of the Dismas House Board of Directors, our staff, volunteers, and our presenting sponsor, Core Civic Foundation, welcome to our annual Forgiveness Luncheon. I'd like to give a warm welcome to all the elected officials who have joined us online. We welcome Deputy Mayor of Community Engagement, Brenda Haywood, from Mayor John Cooper's office. And to our Dismas House board members, thank you for your dedication to our mission of improving lives and strengthening communities by providing the formerly incarcerated with holistic reentry programming that breaks the cycle of incarceration. I'd like to invite our emcee, Lelan Statom, onto the stage. Lelan Statom is an Emmy Award-winning WTVF News Channel 5 meteorologist who has been helping Mid-Southerners start their day for more than 15 years. Please help me welcome Lelan.
Thank you. Good to see you. Thank you, Kay. It is great to be here to host Dismas House's annual Forgiveness Luncheon. What a year it has been for Dismas House 2.0. As you saw from that incredible opening video. Thank you, Josh Shaw and Modern Innovation Production, for creating a piece that captures so much of what we are celebrating today. Our vision of setting the national standard for reentry success. Our theme this year is more than a chance, a change, and it was created as a part of Dismas House's refresh logo and branding. I'm sure you noticed our refresh logo and house. A lot of thought and hard work went into these updates, which launched in July. We invite you to please visit our website, dismashouse.org, to learn more. For far too long, the formerly incarcerated have been labeled ex-con, ex-offenders, felons, and criminals. And children of the incarcerated Parents often have felt an emotional trauma from a disrupted family life, compounded by the social stigma of having a parent in jail or prison. Today, you'll learn a little bit more about the incredible work that goes on at Dismas House and how important this work is at helping men re-enter society and not feel like those terms I used before, ex-cons, ex-offenders, but rather returning citizens and residents. You'll also hear from a gentleman whose parents were both incarcerated when he was a child and how he conquered all of the hardships that come with having a parent in prison and is now a successful adult, a doctor, I might add. But first, a welcome message from Tennessee Governor Bill Lee.
Hey everybody, Governor Bill Lee here. For decades, Dismas House has given formerly incarcerated Tennesseans opportunities and resources to ensure a successful transition back into their communities. Their programs meet the needs of their residents, providing resources like healthcare and counseling and legal support. And as someone who's been involved in prison mentorship and ministry for over 20 years, I know just how important the work of Dismas House is and how impactful it is for those involved. Thank you for your generosity and support of Dismas House so each of their residents can keep striving toward a hopeful future.
Thank you, Governor Lee, for those kind words. Again, we want to thank all of you who are joining us virtually today. It's because of you. For over 47 years, Dismas House has been able to make an impact not only in Nashville, but all over Tennessee. We could not do this amazing work helping over 175 men annually without our corporate partners. An organization that continues to support Dismas House year after year is the Core Civic Foundation. This is their 4th year supporting Dismas House as a presenting Father Jack Hickey sponsor. So please join me in welcoming to the stage CEO Damon Henninger.
Good to see you. Hey, good afternoon. Well, Damon Henninger, so proud to support Dismas and their important organization and their mission. I'll just say one thing. I get often asked the question, like probably a lot of folks on this virtual lunch and also here in the room get asked, and that is the question, why? Why support these programs and these missions like Dismas to help these returning citizens? The short answer is, it's the right thing to do. It's absolutely the right thing to do. The longer answer is, we'd be better off as a community, as a society, to help these individuals that are making this journey back in our communities, help them get gainfully employed, help them get connected with the appropriate services in the community, help get reunified with family, at the end of the day, then give them a better head start once they come back into our respective communities. Short answer, right thing to do. Appreciate the Dismas House and all that you do. Your mission and your organization, your leadership bring a lot of passion, a lot of energy to a really, really important cause. So thank you. Core Civic Foundation is grateful to be a partner with you all. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Damon, and thanks to the Core Civic Foundation. Because of your consistent and steady support, Dismas House is able to improve lives and strengthen communities by providing the formerly incarcerated with holistic reentry program that breaks the cycle of incarceration. We do this through our main reentry program and transitional housing. In April of 2020, Dismas House moved from an 8-bed home to a 72-bed campus. Our new building has 56 reentry beds and 16 transitional housing units. In our 90-day reentry program, we offer a comprehensive selection of services we cluster under the umbrella of 4 pillars of programming, which are basic needs such as food, shelter, clothing, and transportation. We approach our health and well-being pillar from a trauma-informed lens and provide a comprehensive mental health program on site. Most residents at Dismas House have co-occurring mental health and substance use disorders that we address simultaneously and within 72 hours of their arrival. We also work on life skills such as short and long-term goals, transitional plans, gaining employment, and achieving academic goals. And our last pillar, legal support with the expungements, driver's license reinstatement, restoring of voters' rights, reduction and payment of fines and fees, and resolving child support issues. Our transitional housing is a step-down program that provides residents with the stable foundation needed to pursue and achieve their financial, educational, and personal goals as they transition from incarceration back to the community by providing a stable, affordable, and sober living environment. You'll be asked a little later to help support our work. But in case you cannot stay for the entire time, I know some of you at home or wherever you are watching, at work or somewhere, you may be doing a little bit of this on your lunch hour. So if you can't stay for the whole hour, please check out the bottom of the screen on how you can make a gift support today. The support of our entire community is helping us to achieve our vision, setting the national standard for reentry success. We know that all of you in our community partner to work together, and we can achieve great things. Right now, I am delighted to introduce our co-chairs of this year's luncheon. We have Karen and Brian Vinlin of American Paper and Twine, Kelly and Blair Durham of Bart Durham Injury Law, and honorary co-chairs Clark and Kevin Byard with the Byard Family Legacy Foundation, and of course, with a little team that sits on the river, the Tennessee Titans. Kevin could not be here with us today, so he sent us a brief message that we will share with you right now.
Hello, we're Clark and Kevin Byard, and we're excited to be honorary co-chairs at this year's Forgiveness Luncheon. And while we can't be there in person, we're definitely there in spirit.
The Byard Family Legacy Fund is proud to support Dismas House and all the work they do to break the cycle of incarceration.
Now, thanks for joining us today. And we know that after today's program, that you will join Dismas House in supporting and changing someone's life. Now, thank you all, and I hope to see you next year in person.
Thank you, Clark and Kevin. We agree we would not be here today without the generous support of our sponsors. We want to give a huge thank you to our impact sponsor, Amazon, our justice sponsors, American Paper and Twine, Bart Durham Injury Law, the Byard Family Legacy Foundation, Mike Rostecki, Nashville Hair Doctor, Patrick and Cecilia Theobald, Pinnacle Financial Partners, the Titans Foundation, Tom and Marita Stearns, Tricor, and WellPath.
And our corporate table sponsors are Blue Dog Merch, Chapman Inquiry, Dawn Mason, David Young, Dex Imaging, Donald Holmes, First Horizon, Jay Carroll and Bob Wagner, Lori Bell, Mercedes-Benz of Music City, Nashville Electric Service, PMC Parking, RC Matthews Contractor, Rosera, Exterior Wholesale Supply, and Vanderbilt University.
And to our patrons, Judge Linda Jones and Laney Cook, even with our pivot to a virtual event, these sponsors stood by us, and for that we are grateful. Back to you, Leanne.
All right. They gave a little money to help support, so we can clap for them, all right? So clap and give them a big round of applause. So we are virtually here, but there are a few people in-house here for this luncheon today. But we do thank once again Clark, Karen, Kelly, Brian, and Blair. Next, Dr. Remington Richardson is a native of Shreveport, Louisiana. At a young age, Dr. Richardson's parents were both sent to prison. As the eldest son of 6, he helped his grandmother take care of his younger brothers during his parents' absence. And despite the circumstances, Dr. Richardson maintained interest in helping others and making people smile. He received his bachelor's degree in biology from Xavier University and went on to get his master's degree in health science at Meharry Medical College here in Nashville. He recently graduated with his doctoral degree in dental surgery and is currently a resident at Indiana University School of Medicine, where he is specializing in orthodontics and orofacial genetics. Upon graduation, Dr. Richardson plans to increase access of dental care to the marginalized communities of color. Through his initiative, the Rich Smile Society, he will expose minority children to the profession and the practice of dentistry. And through orthodontics, Dr. Richardson will strive to not only change smiles, but at the same time to change lives. Dr. Richardson and his family have amassed notoriety for their Oscar-nominated documentary entitled Time, which details life's obstacles and triumphs of a family dealing with incarceration. He and his family are strong advocates of social justice and policy reform. Through the PDM NOLA and Rich Ministries, the Richardson family aids misrepresented families in dealing with the U.S. legal system. Please welcome to the stage Dr. Remington Richardson.
Good afternoon to you all. I'll say that again. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, I'm Southern and we're in the South, so good afternoon is simply something that is seen as a greeting and it's seen as something to warm the room. So we don't have as many people with us. We have people that are virtual with us, but I do want to continue the warm energy that we have in the room. So good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you all, and thank you for having me. I am Dr. Remington Richardson, and it is truly an honor and a pleasure to be chosen as your keynote speaker for the 2021 Dismas House Forgiveness Luncheon. I want to also give a special thank you to Kenesha Roan and the supporting team and for their excellent communication throughout this process for which we are gathered here today. Which brings me to the point, why are we here today? We are here today because of a systematic problem that continues to plague our community. The United States of America holds 5% of the world's population, but an astounding 25% of the world's prison population. And unfortunately, right here in Tennessee, 50% of offenders released will be returned to prison within 3 short years. But can we really be surprised? When the Department of Corrections doesn't aid in much of correcting. You don't get a severance package for our returning citizens when they come home. There's no, hey, here's this money, here are these resources, here's everything that you need to pick up and move forward. Those things don't exist. The DOC releases these men and women into the world and expects them just to figure it out. And this is no easy task by any stretch of the imagination, because bills, responsibilities, obligations, they didn't just cease to exist when these offenders were brought into prison. No, these responsibilities and obligations pick right up like a moving treadmill. And most times the family's ties are severed. Most times the friendships are battered. They're not the best. And so they're able to come outside and they're met with figure it out. So we release our returning citizens into a moving treadmill and life picks up where it left off. And for anybody that's been in the gym, you turn on the treadmill while it's running and you jump on there. It's not an easy task. You got to warm up. And without supporting your corner, this fight can truly seem insurmountable. But I want you to repeat with me and say these words. Teamwork.
Teamwork.
Makes the dream work.
Makes a dream work.
We're going to say it again because I need y'all to feel that one. Teamwork.
Teamwork.
Makes the dream work.
Makes the dream work.
Teamwork it's imperative to our success. I'm sure you've heard that cliche before. My grandmother gave it to me years before. But however, collaboration and teamwork remain some of the most underrated and unutilized workplace tactics. Even through collaboration, and research has shown that stimulating creativity, it increases productivity, gives a sense of community, improves our problem-solving abilities, leads to groundbreaking innovations and ideas, it still remains one of the commonly underutilized tools in our world. Working together as a team enables us to learn from one another because teamwork fosters creativity and learning, maximizing these shared knowledges and expanding of new skill sets. Teamwork is what allows us to get from a Dismas 1.0 to a Dismas 2.0. It allows us to move from an 8-bedroom house to 72 beds. Say these words with me again. Teamwork, makes the dream work.
Makes the dream work.
So then we have to look and say, who is on our team and who is in our corner? Because you'll learn that in life, the people that are in your circle are not always the people that are in your corner. And there is a very big difference. But the initiation of teamwork requires that we ask for help. And do not be afraid to ask for help, but be afraid of what may happen if you don't ask for help. Because there's honor and strength in asking for help, in that vulnerability, allowing yourself to be open for those that have the ability to help you, the ability to make you stronger in the areas in which you may seem weak, the ability to give you encouragement, the ability to help you along the way, help you see the punches and the jabs that life is inevitably going to throw at us. And trust me, I know that asking for help is not easy, especially as a man. I completely understand. You take it on, you say you're prideful, you take it on, I don't want anybody, I can shoulder this is all my doing. We take on the mentality that all of this weight, but you have to learn the lesson, and the one that I learned very early is that just because you can doesn't mean you have to. And I'll say that one again, it's just because you can does not mean that you have to. Allow those people in your life to help. It makes your load much lighter. And this is why amazing opportunities in places such as Dismas House exist, to provide our returning citizens with the opportunities and the tools they need to succeed. As I got a chance to tour the campus on yesterday and had a tour with the board and got to meet some of the residents and see the space that is being created. And first of all, it's beautiful. So kudos to each and every person that has played a role in bringing that place to fruition. Because not only is it something that is needed, it is something that is beautiful to see. And as I was able to navigate through the campus, one thing that stuck out to me is the writings on the wall. And the writings were the 4 pillars of the programming that the Dismas House consists of. And it's these 4 pillars that anybody returning home to our society can surely benefit from. And that's starting with the first one, which is basic needs. And that's basic life support. The residents have a ready access to food. And as I toured the dining hall yesterday, I was informed that community volunteers come and create evening dinners, give them socialization, and give these residents a sense of community throughout the holidays and as they transition into this new space called life. Every new resident receives a basic package that has the needs that they have of the toiletries, a few household items, and 3 days worth of clothing. And then secondly is the health and the well-being, because we know that is of the utmost importance. The residents receive free health care that includes physical, dental, eye exams, and benefits from weekly wellness classes such as yoga, CrossFit, daily meditation, things that we take for granted, things that we see may not be as important on this side, but there's something that is true value in those. They help them improve their physical and mental well-being. Skill-based groups like the DBT helps our residents practice emotional regulation, interpersonal effectiveness, mindfulness, and distress-tolerant skills, because life is going to bring distress. But we have to be able to adapt, because adaptability is a way of life, and that goes back to the beginning of biology. Adaptability is how we get through and navigate through life, and so support in this adaptability makes a difference. And thirdly, one of the pillars is life skills. Weekly finance and computer classes to help the residents gain financial footing and be better prepared to join the 21st century, which we understand if you're living in the 21st century. Now, it is not an easy task. iPhones are new. Computers are completely different for residents. When my father came home, we had to teach him how to utilize a cell phone. The new iPhone, he asked, what are these things, these faces? Oh, Dad, those are emojis. You know, it's little things like that people take for granted, that we take for granted, that our citizens have to learn how to navigate in this new era. Financial literacy is of the utmost importance. And when talking to one of the past residents, Edward, he said that financial literacy was something that I took on. I'm trying to get to an 800 credit score because it's something that I want. It's something that I want to be able to have. I know what financial literacy means. That makes a difference in this world because you cannot move without credit. It does not work in that way. That is the world that we live in. So to have not only the opportunity to make money, but the ways and the proper tools to manage your money and make it in this life. So these behaviors are practiced through participation in community events, group meetings, and the volunteer-hosted community dinners. And then lastly of those 4 pillars is the legal support. Throughout the legal aid society, they help residents with expungements, voting rights, which is something that should have never been lost when you went to prison, voting rights, reduce fines and fees, and resolving child support issues. All of these things help our residents transition and adapt into what is now their new norm in life. So once again, say it with me, please. Teamwork.
Teamwork
Makes the dream work.
makes the dream work.
And in this is where we need your help. Because these 4 pillars alone will lighten the load of any returning individual into our society. And with the opening of a 72-bed campus in April of 2020, Dismas House is able to service over 175 men each year. 175 men each year. That's making an impact. That's making a change. The building has 56 beds in the reentry program and another 16 additional beds in their transitional housing program that provides housing and support for members of the 90-day program up to 2 years worth of support. And that makes a difference. Coming from an incarcerated family, I know that that can make a difference. And while this is beautiful to hear and see, do know that it comes at a price. As a child of formerly incarcerated parents, I know how much of a positive impact that funding can have. It gives you support. It gives support a whole new life. It honestly makes you feel like someone is actually there that cares. Doesn't just tell you they care, but shows you day in and day out that they are here to support you in your journey. They're in your corner to pat you up, ice you down when the blows of life come, give you advice to watch out for. Because when that bell rings and you step back out to that square, in those 12 rounds that you're fighting, called life, there is just you. No one else is in that ring fighting with you. And I'm sure that we can all attest to some of the blows that life has and will inevitably hit us with. I know I can attest to a couple of blows that life has definitely hit me with. But it's through the corner and the support that you're able to muster up the strength to continue to keep going. Because in life, there are going to be knockdowns. But please do not allow there to be knockouts. Do I have any boxing fans in the room? My boxing fans in the room. So I'll give you a story. My father, when he went to prison and my mother returned home, my father made it a point that he wanted all of his gentlemen, all of his kids, because I come from a house of 6 brothers, no girls. He wanted all of his sons to be able to fend for themselves. He wanted us to take boxing lessons. It wasn't to make us a prize fighter. It wasn't for us to be the next Floyd Mayweather. But it was simply for us to have the courage and the confidence to stand out there and deal with the blows that life is going to hand us. And I remember my first fight, and boy, I was nervous, scared, shaking in my boots. First of all, my shoes didn't fit. I had to borrow some old shorts from one of my gym coaches, and I didn't look and feel my best. And that is another thing. When you don't look and feel your best, we can all attest that when you don't look and feel your best, things don't necessarily go like you plan, right? They don't really feel good. And so that's how I felt walking into that ring. I didn't necessarily feel good. And the biggest thing, my concern was being knocked out. I did not want to hit that canvas. And that was my whole mindset going in. It was that I did not want to hit that canvas. And I get in there and the bell rings, bing, bing. And in the first 15 seconds, I ball up. I was not having it. Balled up, and I get hit. Two hits, and I hit the ground. But in laying in that ground, it was at that moment that I realized one of life's valuable lessons, that perception is a matter of reality. Perception determines reality. Because in that moment when I was hit and I hit the canvas, I said, oh, it's not as bad as I genuinely thought it was going to be. And that allowed me to get up and stand up and continue on the battle of life. Now, I definitely lost that fight, I'll be completely honest with you, but the greater lesson of it all I was able to take from that is that life is going to deal you blows, but it's about how we respond that builds character, that allows us to continue to be successful in life, how we deal with what life is going to hand us, how we adapt. When you come home from prison, how you adapt. When you put in programs for these returning citizens, how you're able to help them adapt in your support. Because like the returning citizens, like kids, every person is different. There is no one-size-fit-all cookie-cutter model. Every person is different, and so you have to be able to assess that. And that's what makes a difference. And so if, for my boxing fans, you remember James Buster Douglas, right? And if you don't, that is one of the biggest upsets of sports history. That is the 42-1 underdog that fought Mike Tyson in Tokyo, which was labeled as Tyson is back. But Buster Douglas had other information. He had other news. If Buster Douglas stays down in round 8 when Mike Tyson knocked him down, there is no round 10 Buster Douglas knockout of Mike Tyson. And that's what life is about. It's about getting up and then utilizing what has now been given to you as opportunities in life to make a difference, to make a change moving forward. And before Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson had knocked out 17 men in the first round of this fight. Many people considered it to be a walkover. They considered this to be another first-round knockout victory. But Buster Douglas, he was a man on a mission that would not be denied. And life is about perseverance, great ones. And when the going gets tough, there's one or two things that are going to happen. You're either going to prevail or you're going to fail. And the one stark difference that stands out to me in this fight between Mike Tyson and Buster Douglas was their corner. February 11, 1990 is when Mike Tyson's corner changed. He did not have the same people in his corner that led him to this undefeated reign in which he knows it. He was not focused on the mission at hand. The night before, he had been out partying all night. He said, I could sleep. I could go 5 weeks without sleeping and beat Buster Douglas. But Buster Douglas had other plans. Buster Douglas was prepared, which brings me to another point that when opportunity opens in life, you have to be prepared. Preparation is key when opportunities show themselves. And with him not being focused on the mission at hand, he was not able to have the support there that he needed. And so when you think about the round 6 and Mike Tyson get hits and his eye is now swole, he does not have the ice cold compress in his corner because they're not used to Mike Tyson reaching this level. They're not used to Mike Tyson being hit on in this way. But you have to have the people in your corner that will give you the tools you need when life challenges you in these ways. Because once again, life gives us opportunity, but what we do is solely up to us. And when those doors of opportunity open, we want to be prepared as much as possible. And this is where support is essential, in the preparation phase. And this is where your help is needed. And for all of our viewers that are watching, this is where your help is needed. This is where the teamwork is needed. It is through your donations and pledges that Dismas House is able to continue to provide excellent opportunities of this magnitude to our returning teammates, not inmates, teammates. It takes funding to keep any organization afloat. And through the money, and though money is not the motivation for why this support and program exists, money is a part of the foundation on which this support is and will continue to be built. And as Robert Sherrill shared at last year's luncheon, it takes about $10,000 per resident to fund this 90-day program. Now, I'm not standing up here asking anybody to donate $10,000 personally. I mean, unless you got it, then like Uncle Sam says, we want you. I'm just saying. But all jokes aside, every dollar helps. And it is easy to see a big value or a big task and automatically feel discouraged or unmotivated. But do understand that Rome was not built in a day. And we won't reach $10,000 without first getting $1, without getting $10, $100, and sure, not even $1,000, because every bit helps. And together we can create more than just a chance for our returning teammates, but truly create a change for the better, a change that genuinely makes a difference. And if we are going to eradicate this recidivism rate that we have, a change is what's needed. Change is how you break cycles so that we don't get inmates that then return within 3 years of being locked up. Support, that is something that change requires. Team, that is something that change requires. So for one last time, I want you all to repeat after me. Teamwork.
Teamwork
Makes the dream work.
makes the dream work.
One more time so the people that are virtually can feel this one. Teamwork
Teamwork
makes the dream work.
makes the dream work.
Thank you all for having me. I look forward to the continued success of Dismas House and each of your continued support in the vision that the Dismas House is making in our world and making it an even better place. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, one more time, everybody, for Dr. Remington Richardson. Wow, what a remarkable story of triumph and perseverance. We thank you for sharing your story and for your words of encouragement. Right now, time to hear from a past resident himself. Let's watch.
When I first arrived at Dismas House on September the 1st, 2020, I had no idea how my life would be impacted and changed in such an incredible way. The staff at Dismas matched my determination to succeed by guiding me with the tools necessary to reach my goals. In life, I've always struggled with talking to others and asking for help. Since being at Dismas House, I've gained the confidence in speaking in groups and feel more comfortable voicing my opinions. One of the best experiences I had during my time here was the opportunity to feed the homeless and bring joy to those less fortunate. Through that work, I was inspired to find other ways to help those in need, especially children born into poverty. I would like to start a nonprofit that protects children from abuse and ensures that they fully benefit from the assistance they receive. Thanks to Dismas House, that goal can be achieved. Another thing I have gained during my time here is employment. The skills I've learned, such as collaboration, being a good listener, and finding solutions to problems, have allowed me to go from an entry-level position to receiving various promotions in less than a year. Dismas made the transition into working and taking care of my responsibilities a lot easier to manage. Those who support Dismas House will be assisting an organization that has a concrete and effective plan that helps people like me transition and become upstanding citizens in our community. Here, we are made to feel valued and loved for who we are. The encouragement received in this place is truly unmatched. I know that I've become a better man because of their unconditional care and belief in my future. I am Edward Jones, and Dismas is more than a chance, a change.
All right, you saw him on video, but he is now live and in person here on stage. Please welcome Mr. Edward Jones.
Hello, my name is Edward Jones. I am 30 years old from Knoxville, Tennessee, and a proud father of a daughter and 2 sons. I entered Dismas House last September, and I was surprised to see a beautiful campus when I arrived. Coming from prison, reentry programs have a bad reputation for not being about the success of a person, but rather just filling up a spot and taking residents' money. I quickly learned that the Dismas House staff fully supported me and my goals every step of the way. Their support is invaluable and propelled my determination even more. And this level of concern that the Dismas House staff has is beyond imaginable. You can literally talk to anyone about anything, and they will stop and listen. They know how to work with a sense of compassion, and for those of us coming out of prison, that is unfortunately rare to see. Because of the Dismas House, because of this, the Dismas House means everything to me. And I will never forget these amazing people. Dismas House helped me come out of my shell. My biggest challenge I faced in life was actually talking to people and asking for help. I never really wanted to feel dumb or look weak by asking questions, so I always tried to figure out stuff on my own. Soon I got comfortable with speaking to new people and voicing my opinion, because that's what Dismas House is all about. It started simple, what I was thankful for at a community dinner, when I was speaking at NA meetings, then in my financial literacy class, and after watching TED Talks in the morning. Soon enough, I had broken my old way of thinking. Speaking up didn't mean that I may look dumb or look weak, and now I'm speaking to you here today. To come where I come from, to be talking to you today blows my mind. But Dismas House gave me so many opportunities to gain the confidence I needed to be here today. One of my top priorities while at Dismas House was getting a good job. I didn't know where I would work, but I knew I needed something to support my family. Dismas House has often had job partners come and talk to us about available positions. And soon I started working at American Paper and Twine. I didn't have to worry about transportation because Dismas House already provided that. That made one less thing I had to worry about and made my transition into working and handling my responsibilities much easier. I have had multiple promotions over the last year, and I am currently a third shift team leader. Thank you. Okay. Through the life skills I've learned at Dismas House, I know how to listen to my team, bring my team together, and encourage them while tackling problems that come up. One of the most important things I've learned at the Dismas House is financial literacy, of course. With the help of Fifth Third Bank, I was able to set financial goals for myself and my family. Now, I am showing my children what it's like to set goals and reach them while being financially responsible. I am passing on this knowledge I've learned at the Dismas House to my children, and that is amazing. Dismas House missions reach beyond the doors and the men that they serve. They are even making an impact you can't even see that will last a lifetime. And that is why you should support the Dismas House. Dismas has a solid proof method and programming that helps men just like me re-enter society and become upstanding members of our community. Their support is unmatched, and that is priceless. I am Edward Jones, and Dismas House gave me more than a second chance. It changed my life.
Great job. Thank you. Thank you. All right, another big hand for Edward Jones, everybody. What an incredible story. We thank you for sharing your journey with us. We're so glad that Dismas House was there to help you through your transition. Edward is just one of many men that the Dismas House helps daily. Right now, I'd like to ask Dawn Mason to join me. Dawn is a Dismas House board chair and currently serving as chair-elect. She knows the impact that the Dismas House has on making so much done in our community.
Thank you, Lelan. Let me share some statistics with you. 95% of those incarcerated in Tennessee will eventually be released to our communities. And when they are, we must ask ourselves, what impact do we want to make? Many returning citizens are ill-prepared to re-enter the community and lack the skills, education, and support necessary for sustainable success. In Tennessee, 70% of those released from prison will reoffend within 3 years, and roughly 50% will return to prison within 3 years. The Dismas House Reentry Program is a comprehensive program that extends beyond housing and employment and has proven to help stop the revolving door of recidivism. By using evidence-based practices that focus on the holistic needs of each resident, our program fosters lasting change from the inside out. But again, we can't do this work alone.
Yeah, as the founder and executive director of the Equal Justice Initiative, Brian Stevenson has said, we have a choice. We can embrace our humanness, which means embracing our broken natures and the compassion that remains our best hope for healing. Or we can deny our brokenness, for where's compassion, and as a result, deny our own humanity. Today that we ask you to embrace your humanness and help us reach our goal of $250,000. And you've got a couple of stats on what that money can do for you and the work at Dismas House.
Absolutely. $50 provides a resident with one therapy session. $100 provides an eye exam and 2 pairs of glasses for one resident. $250 provides 1 month of public transportation for 4 residents. $500 provides 1 week of groceries for residents, and $1,000 provides a basic needs welcome backpack for 1 resident. I invite you to make a gift to support the work that is so critical to our community. By visiting the website on your screen, dismasinc.kindful.com, or you can mail a check directly to 2424 Charlotte Avenue and mark it 2021 Forgiveness Luncheon.
Thank you so much, Don. And before we close out, I want to remind you that just a few miles away from here, there are 42 men rebuilding their lives who are thankful for the opportunity that you have given them. We must do more, and we will do more with your help. All of you watching there, all of you in this building today, we can do more with your help. Thank you, and goodbye. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good to see you too.